Yes, we're live. No, this is not a silent live. What is going on, everyone? I am so happy to be here. This is my first Friday Night Live in about a month. It was July 1st. I did my last live, and it's been a crazy month, guys. I am happy to be here. We're gonna have a fun show tonight. I want to say what's up to everyone that's already here. Shadow Rat, X11, Raising Elm. We got Tony T, Brandon. We got Matt Labno in the house. What is going on, everyone? Hector, thank you, early bird, in here today. So, Fat Dad Comics, guys, it's been a month. I hope you all are doing well. Just so everyone knows, I'll probably repeat myself a few times. This is a special patron Q&A Friday Night Live. Usually, for all my Patreon members, I do a special once a month stream that's private just with them because they submit monthly questions that I answer. This month, we are doing it publicly. And for those that aren't members, Patreon members, I want you all to thank the Patreon members because they ask such great questions. And it allows me to, and now I'm answering them publicly. So everyone gets to, experience whatever the answers may be, whether it's a topic on how to invest in comics or opinions on the market or the grading industry, et cetera, et cetera. So appreciate all of my members. What's going on? Travis T, Kill Heart, Otaku, Jesse, Niles, Jeremy, the Cape Master. Appreciate it. Chad, are we angry? Oh, let me let you guys know, and I'll say this a couple times too. So, Let's Argue is actually inspired by one of the Patreon questions that I'm going to be answering tonight. So we're not really here to get into really huge discussions, but there is some stuff that we're going to bring up, and it's going to be about how we can argue in a positive way when talking about comic books. And because you guys know I like to do that, and I actually have a meme. Darn it. And I was going to share it. I might try to find it during the live stream. I got my phone. But there's a meme. There's a meme about argumentation that I want to share because arguing should be a positive discussion where at the end of the argument, it makes everyone involved better, smarter, wiser, more open-minded, whatever the case may be, right? But so we'll get into that. We got a lot of awesome questions to answer today from my Patreon members. Matthew, what's going on, Matthew? DJ Moonchild. Peter, what's up, Peter? But before I get into the topic of discussion tonight, like I always like to do, I like to do some updates. We do have some giveaways as well. We have some giveaways that we're going to run. First off, like I said, I appreciate everyone for sticking with me through everything. It's been a crazy month for me. A lot of personal things and just scheduling. And here we are a month later. I have still been producing content on my channel. A lot of changes going on there. As you guys saw, I'm selling off some of my personal collection. That's going to be a process. A lot of people, I got dozens of emails and dozens of PMs on my Instagram like, hey, do you have this? Do you have this? What are you selling? What are you selling? I'm like, whoo. So if anybody watched that video about me selling off some of my collection, no, it's not everything. I'm not done with comics. In general, I'm not done with my channel. I'm not selling everything I have. I'm selling some stuff. And no, it's not all junk. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of a lot of modern stuff probably, but there's going to be some good stuff that I'm selling off too. So if you guys are interested, feel free to reach out to me privately via IG or my email, captainjournalcomics@gmail.com. But what I recommend you guys doing, and this isn't a sales pitch, this is just the God on Jason, what's going on? What I recommend you guys doing is making sure you're following me on Instagram because I will be doing a lot of claim posts over the next, for a long time. I'm going to be doing a lot of claim posts on IG. Okay. And do follow me on Whatnot. I'm going to diversify away from Whatnot, but I'm still doing big sales on Whatnot as well. So that link is below. If you guys don't have the app yet, if you do have it, follow me at Jerno's Comics, no underscore. Follow me there because I'm going to be having a bunch of live shows coming up, live sales, but they also have the ability to actually list buy it now items as well. So you can buy them that way. If you need to download the app, the link below will get you $10 off your first purchase if you sign up using that link. And that's from anybody, any seller. It's not just having to buy from me, okay? I also, of course, follow me on YouTube. I do plan on doing a Friday night live claim sale here on YouTube. It's going to be pretty big. So it might not happen for a couple of months. I'm actually leaving town next week, and then I got a lot going on. My birthday's coming up the week after that. So I'm going to be out of town again for a couple of days after that, but I'll keep everyone posted when it comes to the comics. Hit me up if it takes me time to get back to you guys. It's just because I have dozens and dozens and dozens of people hitting me up, okay? Now, Bayou Shay, when is part 2? Part 2 of the Spider-Man sale on Whatnot should be coming. It's going to be in August. Like I said, I'm going to be gone for the first week of August. I got my birthday week the next week. So it'll probably the week after that, most likely a Friday, maybe a Saturday. We'll see. Let me pull up the calendar real quick. So I'm thinking most likely, yeah, it's going to happen probably the 26th or the 27th of August for my part 2 Spider-Man live sale. And remember, anybody that made a purchase, every purchase is going to be a ticket entry or a raffle entry into winning this bad boy. And that's going to continue in part 2. So all the part 1, part 2, then will be collected in raffle, and the winner will get this 9.8 Spidey right here, CGC Spidey. So, all right, man, no comic book canon this Sunday, fifth Sunday of the month. We do not do a canon then. For those that got to see Jeff and I in the same room at the same time, last weekend we did our SDCC San Diego Comic-Con special show. Jeff took the trip out to Cali. Big shout out to A1 Comics for hosting us. It was crazy. Me and Jeff in the same room doing the canon show like it ain't never done before. Hopefully, there's a lot more of those to come in the future. That's for sure. All right, Doug's in the house. What's going on, Doug? All right, so, and guys, if you ain't peeped out Doug and Reggie collects endeavors that they got going on, make sure you're following Reggie on YouTube, of course, and Instagram, and Doug Bratton. Go check them out. Big things. I can't even scratch the surface of what they're doing, and great people too. I wouldn't just hype them up if I didn't believe them as people, right? Or believe in them. All right. So another big thing before we get into the discussion tonight in the Q&A. Oh, I need to get to Chicago. That's where my family's from. We got some giveaways to run, guys. So we got 3 giveaways tonight. 2 of them are patron giveaways. One of them is my YouTube members. All right. I usually do a giveaway every month. I want to start doing giveaways every month. We shall see. Because I promised one in June for my Patreon, we're doing 2. So we're doing one for June and July, technically. And we got an X-Men lot that's going to a YouTube channel member. And I already did the randomizers. We got this amazing Batman 100 negative space variant. Look at that beauty right there. Look at that. And then another Patreon member is getting, I call it the retro set. 2 number 1s. Battlestar Galactica number 1, which has been a hot book as of late. This is a nice high grade copy. And Logan's Run number 1, right here. So you're going to get both of those awesome number one. So guys, I got the winners. I actually did the winner for the Batman like 3 weeks ago, but I wanted to announce it live. So are we ready to announce the winners? For my Patreon members, I will post the winner's name in my Patreon, on my Patreon wall, so you guys can see that. For my YouTube channel member that's going to win these, I will post on my YouTube as well. So hopefully you guys reach out to me. For the YouTube channel member, if you don't reach, I give you a month to reach out. If you don't reach out within a month, I'm going to give it away to another channel member, maybe even throw in a couple more books. All right, so let's do this real quick before we discussion. So the first one we're going to do is this one. This was the long overdue one because this is for June. The Batman 100 negative space variant. Beautiful near mint copy. This was for my Patreon contest. Kind of hot there. And the winner is dun dun dun. And if anybody knows this individual and this individual is not here today, hit him up. Patron member John Rowe. John, thank you so much for your continued support as a Patreon member. You are taking this bad boy home. Beautiful Batman 100 negative space variant. John Rowe, hit me up on Patreon. If you don't do it first, I'll hit you up. All right, but big congrats. Thank you so much for the support. Once we get the information, this will be shipped out ASAP. All right, thank you, John. All right. Next up. We got our second Patreon winner. And this is for the retro lot, Battlestar Galactica #1. Logan's Run #1. Draw. Are we ready? These two awesome retro #1s are going to patron member Dan De La Torre. Dan, this is awesome. It's crazy because Dan was like my third ever Patreon member when I first launched my Patreon page. Dan has donated amazing books to my channel for other giveaways, and Dan has never won a Patreon giveaway. So Dan, it's about time. You have done so much to support not only me, but this community. So I'm glad that, you got something in return. So I don't know if Dan is here tonight, but I will definitely be in contact with Dan. Dan wanted to buy a book for me, so maybe I could just send these out if he wants to buy that book. But Dan, so happy to see you win one of the Patreon contests. All right. So congrats to Patreon members John and Dan. We got one more before we get into the discussion tonight, folks. And this is for one of you awesome YouTube channel members. And again, I appreciate you guys. It's only $1.99 a month, but your guys' support does so much. It means so much. So I can't just, every dollar goes a long way for all the content that I kick out. I really appreciate it so very much. Absolutely, X11. All right, so we got just an X-Men lot, a stack of X-Men related books here, guys. This is going to one of you awesome YouTube channel members. And that channel member is somebody with an amazing name, Christopher Johnson. Christopher Johnson, congrats. Thank you so much for your support. I think you've been a YouTube channel member for 4 months now. So Christopher, thank you. If you're seeing this, hit me up. Reach out to me at on my email, Jerno, Captain Jerno Comics at Gmail, or hit me up privately on Instagram. All right. If I don't hear from you in a month, I'll have to pay it forward, but I hope to hear from you. I hope to get these X-Men books out. To John, Dan, and Christopher, thank you guys so much. Now, To all my other wonderful Patreon members, thank you all. And tonight's about you guys. And again, to all my subscribers or viewers that are hanging out here now, give a big dap, a big shout out to the Patreon members for asking these questions and giving you guys the opportunity to, maybe hopefully learn some things tonight and take all this wonderful information too. That includes hot debates and arguments, right? All right, Aaron, what's going on, Aaron? All right, appreciate it. Critical thinking, that's what it is. That's what it's all about. So, all right, we are going to pull up the questions, guys. Out so I can see the chat, so I can see you guys, I can see these questions. Read them off and then of course answer them. You guys ready? Some amazing, we're going to get into some deep discussions, guys. All right, you guys ready for this? I am. All right, okay, so Tony, who's here tonight, Tony T. Oh, one last thing, big shout out to Tony Trombetta and EGS Comics. They're going to have a huge announcement coming up real soon. So guys, if you're not following EGS on Instagram, that link, I don't, you know what? I don't know if I have their Instagram link, but it's really easy. EGS Comics. Their YouTube and website is below, though, in the link. So make sure you're subscribed to them on YouTube. Sign up for their newsletter on their website. Follow them IG. They're going to have a huge announcement real soon. All right? Got to be sitting there anticipating for it. And I can't wait for it to come. I'm sitting waiting for it. It's going to happen real soon. Tony's got a question. We're going to come back to Tony's question because I actually did a video answering most of his question, but we're going to come back to that. All right. Now, we have a lot of discussion, guys, tonight about the grading community, and that's been a hot discussion as of late for me as well. But I'm going to put all of those questions together, and we're going to save those. All right. What we're going to talk about first is arguments. Oh, arguments. Let's argue. Big shout out to Patreon member X Bravo. And guys, if you're not following X11 Bravo on Instagram, you need to. All the work that they do in this community to support community members, veteran members, military members, and their families. Guys, do it. Do it. X11 brought up a really interesting question, and we're going to get into this. X11 asks, Chris, have you given any thought to having a weekly or monthly segment or show dedicated strictly to the societal, cultural, political issues in the industry that frustrate you and many of us? Being able to rant and debate these things completely separate from your regular shows. I could see a lot of benefits to this idea. Time for the content to hit the community and review it, being able to say, but we aren't going to cover that debate today. It will be on our such and such stream this next week or this next month or so forth. Being able to tell some argumentative folks to get their argument prepared and join you on that show if they wish to debate. Winning. Okay. We can really do this. We have a lot of other great questions tonight, guys. We can really do a whole 2 hours to this question. I'm addressing this first because I do feel it's very important. So X11, thank you so much for this question. I look at this 2 ways, X11. I look at it in a way to where we can get into argumentative debates about who's better, CGC or CBCS or EGS, raw comics or graded comics, cameo or first full, first appearance, second appearance, like variants are ruining the hobby. Like, I think that this would be a great idea. And I try to do this. I believe that bringing up these you know, controversial comic book related discussions are very important. And I do that. Now, I would like to absolutely, what I would like to do, I mean, people in the comment section can always bring their argument, right? And X11, you know this. And what do? If somebody comes in with an argument and they just, whether they're being respectful or maybe they're being a-holes, I send them the link and I say, hop on the show. Come hop on the show and join me. Let's debate. No spin. Let's talk about it. Everyone declines. I do bring, and what I have been doing over the last few months when bringing up these issues is getting other content creators on. Now, ironically enough, I haven't really had anyone on. Like I've had Swaggle on. I've had Como on. I've had Bronze Age on. I've had Automatic Comics on. Nobody's really like flat out disagreed. I mean, I think there's times where we brought different perspectives to the table, but I would love to be able to bring another content creator on or somebody in the industry that has a completely opposing, right? That's comic book related stuff. Like strictly, we're not talking about politics, right? So X11, when it comes to politics in comics, because I know, and first off, I don't even like to call it politics because, like you said, X11, societal, cultural, and political issues. Everyone wants to make everything political. It's not. Most of the stuff that people politicize are either economic or societal. Now, don't get me wrong. They overlap often because with economics and societal issues and cultural issues, policy making impacts what's going on with our economy or cultural and societal issues. I mean, for an example, and I'm not going to get into it, but, you know, the Roe v. Wade, whether you agree with it or not or whatever, that is a societal issue that is being impacted by policy making. So it then becomes political, right? And guys, we're not like, we're not talking about this tonight. I don't want to hear, I don't care if you agree or disagree. This is where we're connecting tonight on things that we can, bond on, not things that are going to start an argument that gets nowhere. I just use that as an example, okay? Where a societal issue, no matter what you believe in, can become political, right? Economics is often, made political because we have special interests, right? We got big business in the pockets of politicians quite often. So, but at the end of the day, we have to look at economics as its own thing, and we as individuals with purchasing power, especially when it comes to comic book markets or any market, you don't want to pay $5 for a Starbucks latte? Don't give them your money. If everyone that complained about, I'm so tired of spending $5 a day on my latte from Starbucks, if everyone that complained stayed home for one day, you know what would happen? Their stocks would crash. And I mean, the stock market has been hurting, but even worse. I don't want to pay $5 a gallon for gas. If everyone that complained stayed home for one day, woo, do you know what kind of impact that would make on these big companies? Anyways, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But to X11's point, when we're talking strictly about real controversial issues like race, gender, politics, I mean, just like, and this is my thing, the woke. I'm not even going to get into it, and I'm not saying I did. There's a valid argument. There's valid points on every side of the argument, usually all the time, and I always say the truth lies somewhere in the middle. But this is how I'm going to answer this question, X11. No. When it comes to those things, when it comes to people being mad at Tim Drake for being bisexual, or when it comes to getting mad that Star Wars just cast a young brown skinned girl is the lead in the new Star Wars. What is it? The Agrolites. I don't even know what it is. That new Star Wars show. The Acolyte. It's a young, I don't know if she's even full black. She might be mixed. She might be black and Asian with her facial features. I don't know. Very beautiful young woman. So we don't even know nothing about the show. We know nothing about the characters, but oh no, it's a woman. It's a woman, and and this is a woke agenda. I'm not talking about it anymore, but look, here I am talking about it. Here I am talking about it because I can't, I want 11. I want to, because I have in the past. But two things happen. One, no matter what side of the argument you're on, people dive into groupthink all the time. Whether you're like anti-woke or you're like anti-right-wing, like you can't have an opinion that doesn't fit the mold. Because if you do, you're attacked. I can't come here and critically think any. Already lost. I made an opinion. I made a video when they made Tim Drake bisexual. Some other content creator made a comment, made a video saying, this is garbage. This is horrible. It's horrible writing. It's just bad writing. But I haven't even read it. And all I didn't say anything about sexuality, about gender, about LGBT. I didn't say anything. I just said, guys, if you haven't read a story, don't tell me it's bad writing. Read the story, tell me it's bad writing, and then prepare your argument. I lost 200 subscribers, folks. 200. Probably more. Because while I was losing some, you still gain some every day. I subscribers. And you know what that did to the YouTube algorithms? I haven't recovered. I have not recovered. I used to gain anywhere from 20 to 50 new subscribers every day. Every day. Since that happened, you know what I get? You know what my average new subscribership a day is? Like 5 or 6. This is, it's just, I don't, and you know, man, and I'm just chewing over my tongue right now, but it's just not worth it. Nobody listens. Why am I even going to talk about it anymore? Nobody listens. I know, Niles. You're right. I mean, this is my livelihood. You know, this is a full-time job for me. And I've always said, I will never sell out. I will never sensationalize an issue just for clicks and views. So many people do it. I will never tell you, I will never do a video. And I'm not, look, if people do this, that's fine. It's like, I will never tell you to buy a comic right now. I'm so done with, that's another thing. I'm so done with even doing top 10 lists because I'm tired of it. I expect video in weeks. I've done like 2 over the last 3 months. Because I'm me. Never sell out. And if there's an issue though, X11, if there is an issue, I mean, I won't shut up. And you guys know that. You watch me, you know me. But I'm making an effort. And it's not like, there's a saying out there. I believe Malcolm said it. said something along the lines of like, you know, if you don't speak up on an issue, your silence is somebody help me out. Silence is, you know, you're you know, the being passive to serious issues. But this is what I realized. Like I said, it's not changing anybody. Those people that are out, if I speak up against racism or sexism in the comic book community, those people that I'm calling out, they love it. They love it. They want that. They want that. That's pure narcissist. But you get it on this, you get similar stuff on the opposite end. If I sat and said, well, not every white male that has an issue with something that may involve race or a woman, like they're not they're not just racist. And if I say that, then I'm gonna be though I'm racist, right? Or I'm a black seed polluter because my wife is black and my children are mixed. Like, you can't win. You can't win. So it is counterproductive. Even if I did separate shows, it's counterproductive. What I do want to do is I want to get more active on my Oni Ounce page, my music page. And my music was always made to, I wanted my music to change the world, right? I want to get more active on my music page and do it there, X11. Yeah, X11. You know, I'm Matt. I'm still on the table for that for Max. Max probably is still the only person I will talk to. But I'm realizing this too. You know, it's like my conversation that I would have with Max is different today than it was a month ago. Because I'm gonna be quite honest with you, X11. What's up, Pedro? It's getting worse. It's getting so bad. It's getting so bad. The groupthink is getting so bad. Like I said, I mean, you get an announcement that Star Wars is doing a show, and this young, beautiful actress is going to be one of the stars of the show. That's it. Go read the comments. It's disgusting. I'm done. I want to turn off social media. I don't want to do it anymore. E-Dub, what's going on, E-Dub? Gorgeous George, what's going on? Terry, what's going on? But I want to say one thing, and to Terry, to your point, it's interesting because another thing that hit me when I spoke up about the Tim Drake thing, saying all I'm saying is I don't care about sexuality. Don't be Siskel and Ebert movie 2 thumbs down and you ain't seen the movie yet. That's all I said. You cannot like the story and call it lazy writing, but you better have read the story and do a dissertation of why you call it lazy writing. Not only did I lose over 200 subscribers, YouTube's algorithms effed me over, and I almost a year ago. If you can look at every single analytic that I look at analytics every day for my channel. Every day. My watch time per video is up. So say I release videos anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes long. My average view time is 8 minutes. My average view time has been going up 7, 8, 9. Average watch time is up. What else is up? My average click-through rate is up. So okay. Lesson on YouTube analytics, guys. There's impressions, and then there's clicks and click-through rate. What is an impression? This is very important. Okay. An impression is, I'll show you what an impression is right here. An impression is, so you go onto YouTube, right? And you start scrolling and you see all this stuff, right? Oh, look. Let's see. The Critical Drinker posted a video. Let's see. NBA legends and players explain why Michael Jordan. Every time they show you a thumbnail, that's an impression, right? Click-through rate is the percentage of how many times they scroll past without clicking or how many times they actually click on it. Over the last year, my click-through rate has increased. That means more people are clicking when they see my thumbnails than before. The only thing that's down, I mean, my views are down. My views have been down, but this is because of this. My impressions are down. My impressions are the only, and then the views correlating with impressions are the only thing down. You know what that means? It means YouTube isn't showing you guys my thumbnails. And I see this firsthand because I have multiple personal accounts. I have like 3 personal accounts. My personal, my business, and my own ounce account. When I release a video, I'll go into my other accounts. And I'm subscribed to myself, to Jerno's on my other accounts. I'll go in there, and sometimes they'll show me my video right away because I have the notification bell clicked. But even with the notification bell clicked, sometimes I won't even see my video pop up. I could scroll and scroll and scroll, and they're never showing me my thumbnail or giving me a notification. YouTube is screwing me. It's YouTube deciding to say, because 11 months ago, something happened where a couple hundred people unsubscribed from his channel. It hits the algorithms, and the algorithms say, okay, we're not going to show his videos to people that. You know what else has been happening? YouTube has been unsubscribing my subscribers. I've had big YouTubers like Comic Tom and Nick Collector. I think maybe it wasn't Tom. I know Nick reached out to me. And a lot of my loyal followers come and say, Chris, I wasn't getting notified. I was like, oh, did Jerno release a video lately? And I went back to your channel and I wasn't subscribed. I had to subscribe again. That's another thing that's happening. Baba. Right on. Appreciate that. Jay Hegel, I'm glad you haven't ran into them in your circle, but if you're online, it's everywhere. The toxicity is everywhere. Look, toxicity is everywhere in general. I mean, anybody could be toxic. White, black, male, female, liberal, conservative. But when it comes to the comic books and what's going on right now. So anyways, guys, I know that I spent a lot of time with this question for X11, but that's where I'm at, guys. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I'm just going to keep doing me. I'm going to keep talking about comic books. That's why I don't accept if people see me on YouTube on my personal page, because I'm chiming in the comic book groups on my Chris page, and they're like, oh, Jernos, hey man, love the videos. And then they send that friend request, right? I'm not going to accept it, guys. For one, I love you guys, and I consider you community and family, but there is a line. You know, my personal space, and my YouTube is for family, right? So no offense if you guys ever send me a friend request on Facebook, I most likely will not accept it. You can friend request Jerno's comics on Facebook. But if I did, you might not like what I have to say on my personal page. On my, so it's like, why bother? I'm done. I don't even want to be on social media anymore outside of doing my channel. I'm done with Facebook. Facebook is the most toxic place ever. It's ridiculous. YouTube is the right close second, man. But I gotta focus on focusing. I gotta focus on the positive. I gotta focus on all you guys, all you beautiful people here. Oh, let me take this. Let me take this banner down. I gotta focus on you guys, the people that support me. You know, and that's how it is. Oh, X11, we're not. No way, we're not skipping your other questions. Maybe I'll save them for later. Well, especially your, what do you call them? Grading industry questions, but that's going to be a hot topic tonight too that we're definitely going to have some time to get into. So been off of Facebook for 2 years. Yeah. So guys, we're going to move on. You know, look, at the end of the day, I want you all to remember, especially if we're just talking about comics, don't be an ass. Don't just be a cynic and a narcissist. Have a conversation, but even if getting in it with or people on social media, if you are talking about race, gender, religion, politics, whatever, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Listen to them. Be passionate in your viewpoint, but listen to somebody else, because oftentimes the truth is somewhere in the middle. And even though we may see extreme on certain things, there's things that are going to bring us together, and we need to do that more. All right. But on this channel, I'm trying to just stay away from it all. Ramon, yeah, I hear you, man. Jay War, what's going on, Jay? Sean, I try to, you know, as my channel grows, it gets harder and harder. I try to read all of my comments. I try to, if I heart a comment, it means I read it. All right. And it's hard for me to respond to all of them these days, but I love reading your guys' comments, man. And it's part of the community, man, for sure. But guys, we are going to move on. We're going to move on to some more questions. Okay. Because again, this is about our Patreon members. We're going to move on to some questions. We got some other really good stuff here. Big shout out to Justin, aka Raising Elm. Raising Elm asks, who would I fan cast as Wonder Man? And what actor or actress would you like to see enter the MCU in any capacity? He said that Nathan Fillion would be good for him. James Gunn had a deleted scene of him as Wonder Man in Guardians of the Galaxy. He did voice him on the MODOK series for Hulu. I mean, that's a good call, Justin, Nathan. But I honestly don't have an individual that I would pick. I just think I say trust in Sarah Haley Finn and Kevin. Sarah Haley Film is the GOAT casting director. She's awesome. She does all the casting for Marvel. I just don't have anyone. As for which actress or actor would I want to see in the MCU? Man, I mean, there's so many of them. I would love to see. Oh man, who are some of my? Denzel. I mean, I know he's older now, and even if it's just a minor role, like I would love to see Denzel in a movie, and I would want to see him in like a more street level movie, like maybe Spider-Man, or maybe he could play Robbie Robertson. I think that would be dope for Denzel, especially if we get a Spider-Man this next trilogy. I think Leo could be in the MCU, but again, it's like, you take these high caliber actors, and we know that the MCU has a lot of humor. I would like to see Leo in something real serious as well, playing a real serious role. Maybe X-Men. Maybe he could do something in X-Men. I don't know. Actress. I don't know, guys. I gotta really think about that. I gotta think about that. I would love to see Olivia Munn, right? That's her name, right? Olivia Munn that played Psylocke. Yeah, I would love to see her come back as Psylocke, but she's getting older too, so I don't know if that would happen. Oh, Jeremy, that would be sick. Yes. Yes. Ooh. Yep. Robertson. I think, yeah, man. Good call, guys. Ooh, Daniel Day-Lewis. He's getting older too, man. I don't know if you'd want to. He's got to be in his. Is he in his maybe late 50s, early 60s now? Daniel Day-Lewis, how old is he? We don't want him getting too old, because you want, especially a character like Doom, you think he'd be around for a while. Prime time, what's going on? Man, yeah, man. Jeremy, though, that's some great calls there. Absolutely. Daniel Day-Lewis is just a great actor, though, man. What about Daniel Day-Lewis as Mr. Sinister? I think that'd be sick. What about Daniel Day-Lewis as Dracula? Ooh. Man, that would be dope too. Wow. Haha. All right, guys. Next, I would love to hear you guys. If you guys have any other casting suggestions, leave them in the comments. But we're going to move on to another question. One more from Justin. He asked, what comic book storylines would you like to see brought to the silver screen in the MCU? It probably won't happen, but I'd like to see Shuma Gorath's story from the Doctor Strange Marvel premiere run. Strange had to fight several monsters and demons before he could save the Ancient One from Shuma Gorath. It would be also interesting to see Peter Parker in his own animated series where we meet the other animated versions of Marvel heroes. Yeah. Strange Academy. I think Strange Academy would be a dope Disney Plus show. Absolutely. For me, I want to see, it's not necessarily a storyline, but it's something that we haven't seen in live action. I want to see Spider-Man have something going on with Kingpin in general. But the storyline that I think that would work best, because look at what we're doing here, guys. We have the Echo series. We were introduced to Kingpin officially in the MCU, not what was going on with Daredevil, because of course that's not technically MCU canon anymore, at least not in the 616 MCU. You know, I'm sure you could say, oh, it's the multiverse, right? It's a different iteration that we saw in Hawkeye. It's a different iteration, same actor that's going to be an Echo, and then we know that Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is going to be in the 18-episode Daredevil show. So we already got Kingpin being introduced through Daredevil and Echo. I would love to see Spider-Man face off with Kingpin, but through the gang war storyline with the Rose, Kingpin's son. That would be absolutely freaking amazing. More deep, dark, mature, maybe even Daredevil, Charlie Cox's Daredevil could show up, and I think that would be absolutely freaking sick. That's one. Another storyline that, you know, I was actually talking with some of you viewers about The Brood. I wasn't really, like, for me, my X-Men are on Earth. Like, Days of Future Past, you know, 90s X-Men, Marauders. Like, my X-Men are on Earth. I wasn't really a huge fan of all the Claremont, Claremont's wrote most of it, but when he took them out into space and outside of the Phoenix saga, that was dope, obviously. I wanted my X-Men grounded. But, even though I'm saying that, I think it would be sick to do a Brood storyline in the MCU because you can make it darker. Doesn't need to be rated R, but you could make it darker. And you know what you could tie in? And this can really shift the X-Men that we saw in Fox with the MCU X-Men. Starjammers, and the Shatar. I don't know how to Shatar. How do you say their names? The Dynasty. I think you can incorporate all those things in the way that we get incorporated into those things. Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel. So you got the galactic Starjammers that can be brought in via all the galactic stuff that's already happening. Guardians, Captain Marvel, etc., etc. You bring them in, it ties more into the mutants that we introduced, and then you bring in the Brood. That way, you don't need to introduce Wolverine right away. You don't need to introduce the same characters right away. You could bring in Gladiator. Gladiator would be a sick character to bring in. Obviously we would need Professor X. We would need Xavier, but they could switch it up, man. I mean, we can have Polaris and Havoc and Cyclops, but we can have a lot of different characters doing those things. So those are some things that I would love to possibly see for sure. Yeah, what's up with that World War Hulk movie that was supposedly already in production last year? So-called scooping stuff. So that's and I'm not afraid to call them out, Geeks Worldwide. Don't trust the foolery. Don't trust the foolery. I'm not saying World War Hulk will never happen, but their BS was BS. Wasn't no movie in production. Because we'd already have an official announcement from Marvel Studio. We'd have castings. We'd probably have maybe even a trailer at this point in a release date. So I don't want to hear it. Yeah, Killhard, I hear you. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Yeah, Otaku, absolutely. E-Dub, thanks for popping in. Alpha Flight, yep, I think Alpha Flight for sure. Skarsgård brothers. Like that story, dope. You guys got some great ideas here. Yeah, Chad, I don't think he'll lose the darkness. I don't think so. Shadowland. Oh, you know what would be sick too for X-Men? And I love Halle Berry. Don't get me wrong. Love Halle Berry. She did a decent job as Storm, but we need a Storm origin story with the Shadow King. That would be absolutely sick. It could even be a Disney Plus show, a 6-episode Disney Plus show. That'd be dope. That would be dope. Yes. Noel's got to show up at some point in time. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to move on. Again, keep leaving your guys' comments, castings, or storyline, story arcs. All right, Tony. Tony bringing up the controversy. What is your opinion on the second appearance of the Punisher? Is it ASM 134 or 135? A few different resources have it different. Some have 134 and some have 135. Okay, Tony. As president of a grading company. Oh, we got the bots. Hold that thought. Oh, gotta love the bots. Bye, bot. Bye. Did somebody say shadow? Shadow? Tony, as somebody that is president of, this is very important. Okay, look. The Punisher was not introduced in a cameo type form, right? We know that the Punisher showed up for the first time in Amazing Spider-Man 129. On the cover, all up in the book, it's his first appearance in full. I mean, first cover appearance, first full appearance. He goes away. Issue 134 comes and Spidey's battling Tarantula. And then on the last page, Somebody shows up, you see his boot, you see his gun, and then you see his face. There he is. There's Punisher. He shows up, Tony. It's an appearance, right? And if you just count him, how many times did he show up before? Just one. So what does that make 134? Well, it makes it a second appearance, right? 134 is the second appearance in Cameo, where it's not black and white. And I still don't understand people that want to argue these appearance labels without proper context. 180 is Hulk's first appearance. He's right there. Yes, nobody's saying it's not. It's his first appearance in Cameo, right? ASM 134 is Punisher's second appearance in Cameo. It is a brief cameo appearance. So if I was a grading company, I would label it either two different ways. I would label it second appearance of Punisher in Cameo, or I would just label it Punisher Cameo. Or I would even label it, well, yeah, that's about how I would do it. Now let's talk about 135. Well, what does that make 135? 135 is Punisher's third appearance overall. Count him. He showed up in 129 in a full. He showed up on page 4. It's a cameo. Then he showed up in 135 as a full on the cover in the story. So when somebody says ASM 135 is the second appearance of Punisher, they're not wrong. They're not right. They're half wrong and half right, right? Let me grab this bot real quick. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So what I'm trying to say is this, folks. Saying that 135 is the second appearance is half right. It's his second full appearance. So if I was a grading company, how would I label Amazing Spider-Man 135? I would say second full appearance of the Punisher. And then maybe in parentheses, I'd say appeared briefly in 134. Or appeared in cameo in 134. I mean, you don't even need to say that. That's adding a lot of context. But at the end of the day, 134 is the second appearance of Punisher in cameo. And 135 is the second full appearance. Second full appearance of the Punisher. Everything after that, you can either label fourth appearance or just say Punisher appearance. And you don't even need to add the context, because then it gets, leave it up to the collectors to say, oh, well, he only showed up in that book for a page or two, or doesn't even matter. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. First appearance is the very first appearance. Nobody's arguing that. But you can also have a first full appearance. First full appearance doesn't negate their first appearance that they showed up. It's just a first full appearance. It might be their second overall appearance, but it's the first time they showed up fully in a comic book. A character can have a first appearance that wasn't a full appearance, and then later have a first full appearance. I don't mean to I'm not trying to be cynical or cocky, but it's not that hard to understand to me. Maybe it is for some people, but what I think it really is people not wanting to. It's like they just don't want to hear it. That's I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But but yeah, we're not going to argue about this. That's how I would label them. We're going to move on. All right. Let's see. Soggy asks, big shout out to Soggy. What does a CGC red label modern grade mean? CGC had the red labels early on in their life, early on in their career. They label moderns differently. They labeled moderns differently and gave them the red label. I think they only did this for like a year or two, going to the universal label. So, Sagi, I hope that answers your question. All right, Verified. Big shout out to Verified. I've heard that you would never 9.8. More than a few occasions, I believe. Can you please elaborate on why you wouldn't? Okay. Verified. This is what we're going to do, okay? When I read this comment, I said, this is going to be the Patreon suggestion video. I want to either do one of two things. I have to pick up my son tonight from work, so I don't know how much longer I have. I'm going to get to some of the other questions. If I have time, I'm going to answer this in length tonight. But if not verified, I'm going to use this question as the patron suggestion video, and we're going to do a whole video answering that question because it is an amazing question, and I want to talk about it, all right? That's for absolute sure. All right. Justin's got a couple more. We got X11 with a couple more. Let me get some water, folks. Let's go into Justin's question. Got another one for you, Chris. So Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness was released to streaming on Disney+. This was a while back now. I think it's on Blu-ray now. Is this? Do you think a movie's released to streaming and Blu-ray causes an increase in related comic book sales the same way that the movie's initial release would do? I'm just going to answer this straight up and say no, not the same way. All right? We're talking about words here. It's released to streaming or DVD will never impact a comic book's value in the same way. Now, does it still impact it? I'll answer that question, but let me read on. Some variables to consider could be that some people didn't see the film in theaters. The movie gets renewed hype after second viewing, or the price dropped on key books after the release, but the demand jumped up to upon the release to their platforms. Okay, so I do believe that a film's release to streaming or Blu-ray can breathe new life into like whatever comic book is related to that film. But if there is new life, it's going to be minuscule towards what we saw leading up to the movie. There's never been anything really, it's or even DC that, oh, here it comes on Disney Plus or on Blu-ray. Now I've never seen any prices like do this again. Quite honestly, movies to streaming and Blu-ray and DVD so quickly now. Remember back in the days, even back to the early 2000s, but especially in the 90s as well, it would take almost a year. Movie comes out in the theater, stays in the theater for, a month. Then it starts, you start seeing a drop off, less show times, maybe for another month, only at a couple of showing times. It would be like 8 to 10 months after that, maybe even more, before we got the VHS or DVD release. Crazy, right? Now it's like a month after the movie's done in the movie theater. So I don't think that even gives you enough time to even allow the book to really cool off and pick back up. So I don't see it as being a big factor, but can it happen? Yes. Will it be something that like affects prices in an extreme way? I don't really necessarily see that happen. If it does, I'm sure we'll all be paying attention to it and I'll be talking about it. That's for sure. All right, let's see. Okay, Justin has one more, and then we got a couple more from X11. I was checking raw sales on Daredevil #1 on cover price for fun because I can dream. But I was blown away when I saw some recent sales. Differentiate between the real #1 and the facsimile. Okay, great question, Justin. Cover Price, big shout out to Cover Price. I use them almost every day of my life. Cover Price still uses algorithms that cause problems. If there was a book if there was a Daredevil #1 that sold for under $100, I guarantee you it was an error. I guarantee it was an error. Unless it was a coverless copy or something. There have been many times, there's even been YouTubers who have used Cover Price's data to say a comic book dropped like 80%. And it was an error. And it was an error from an eBay sale. And that eBay seller actually saw this YouTuber's video, called him out on it, and YouTuber did, to my knowledge, the YouTuber didn't even do anything about it. You got to be very careful. And that's why I go back to say, sometimes outliers do exist in their real sales. But even when they do exist, I don't even use them. You got to look at the outliers with a grain of salt. Who knows what happened. But sometimes there's outliers because they're a false sale or the data has been aggregated to the algorithm falsely. And you got to be really careful. It happens with low sales and high sales. So that's my take on that. Be very, very careful if you guys are reading into the data. All right. Yeah. Must reads right now. Man, I'm so behind on my comics right now. But I've been reading a good amount of good Boom stuff lately. But I'm like a year behind on most of my readings, except for Amazing Spider-Man. And I love my Spidey, and I'm going to keep reading it, but I don't recommend it. Oh, my God, I've been so let down. Moonlit's hanging out. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello, Moonlit. Appreciate you. Absolutely appreciate you. We got to get you back on the canon. That would be awesome. All right, guys, we got a couple more questions here tonight. And they're gonna circle around grading. Grading. We're gonna start off with an X11 Bravo comment. X11 says, Chris, did you see the video posted on IG by Skeleton Keys showing the PGX slab she received in the case opened up on Sam like a DVD case? Her words. X11, I did see that. And look, I don't see how any case from any company can leave quality control and not be sealed. It's ridiculous. I don't know if it broke seal, but here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and just bash PGX because we all know that CGC is some of the most ridiculous quality control issues ever. CGC cases have done the same thing. There are people that have just been able to just put their fingers right in the CGC case. So I don't know how it happens. I don't know how PGX handled it. Hopefully they dealt with it. I wouldn't use PGX for a lot of other reasons. You know, I do believe in giving companies a second chance, but I wouldn't use PGX. I'm going to say it like this, folks. I'm going to say it like this. This is a big statement about PGX. And if any of you guys use PGX or know the owner, you guys can even tell them that I'm saying this. I would never even give I believe in second chances. I believe the PGX grades way too high on many of their books. Many that I've seen just from pictures alone, many that I've seen in person. I have seen fair to good books be graded as very good fine. I've seen fine books being graded as very fine near mint. And look, don't get me wrong. I have a 9.8 CGC comic in my collection. It's a 9.8. That is in no way a 9.8. But I will say this about CGC. Even though I'm not saying it's acceptable, their ratio, quality control issues ratio, in my opinion, are much, much smaller than PGX. PGX's grading is grading that I trust. These quality control issues are unacceptable, but at least I could still send a good amount of books to CGC. And when I get them back, I'm either spot on or I'm off a half grade point, up or down. I just don't trust PGX's grading. All right. But here's the main thing about why at this point, I will never personally send books to PGX. This is why. And I'm not CGC Mafia because I call CGC out every time. Matter of fact, I've sent out more books to EGS, which hasn't been a lot. I haven't sent out any books to CGC this year. I got a couple books waiting for me at EGS, though. Yes. This is why as of right now, I will not use PGX personally. You guys, I mean, there's many perks out there for PGX. Look, their new labels and cases. Their new labels and cases are better than CGC's labels and cases 12 years ago. I will not use them until PGX's owner comes on my show, sits down with me face to face, and we sit down live for a live audience, and he lets me ask him the real questions and the hard questions. Straight up. No sugarcoating it. No beating around the bush. I will not send a personal book out to PGX until the owner of PGX sits down to me and explains to me the fraudulent practices that he practiced running his company. I don't care how many years ago it was. I don't care if, maybe it doesn't happen anymore. I don't know. I'm not even saying I'll use PGX if that happens. What I'm saying is this. I need transparency. So that's what I got to say about that. So again, I'm not reaching out to him. I don't have any. I care. I really no care, guys. I don't care. Man, I really wish I could send books to PGX. No. Do I want CGC and CBCS to have more strong competition? Yes. I think EGS is bigger competition right now to them, especially when they, continue to evolve here. And I wish PGX was better competition, but unfortunately they shot themselves in the foot. So, again, if he wants to reach out to me, if he ever watches my channel, or if anybody, and look, I'm not judging the guy. I don't know him. I will be humble because, hey, I was doing dumb stuff. I mean, I may have been a teenager, stealing cars and robbing houses. Sorry how much I'm not. What is it? It's past a certain amount of time. I can't incriminate myself. Doing dumb stuff. Maybe he was just young and dumb doing dumb stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways. Raising Elm and Travis. You guys got it. All right, we're going to talk more about slabs, guys. We're going to talk about company here. We're not quite done yet. X11 asks, if a grading company wanted to focus on prestige and stay relatively low volume while producing a higher quality product and service than the other grading companies, eliminating the need to compete for the business of the mainstream consumer and being stuck focusing on producing a similar product as the other companies at a similar price. What would it take and what would it look like? There are many examples of businesses and industries that do this. Not everyone can afford a Ferrari, but Ferrari seem to do okay. What would Ferrari of the grading industry look like? Exactly. Okay. X11, you said it. Ferrari isn't concerned with mass producing their vehicles like Ford is, or Honda or Toyota. Honda or Toyota has a solid brand and it's a cost benefit analysis, right? Walmart is the value leader and they make their money on volume, not quantity over it's quantity over quality. But that's their brand. Nordstrom's is quantity over quality. Ferrari, quality over quantity. So what X11 is asking here, does the grading industry have what it takes to provide a quality over quantity? And the short answer to that, X11, is no. It is no. The reason being is this. While a graded comic is both a service and a product, it doesn't take that much. You can't differentiate the product that much. I mean, we know that EGS has talked about getting proprietary cases. PGX has them. CBCS has them. They're not bad. And some people like CBCS's cases over CGC's. Some people like CGC's over the labels. It's not a cost thing to have a decent label. Now you can differentiate yourself like, well, we can do custom labels, but it's not necessarily a huge cost thing. Maybe a little more time and effort goes into it because they're customized, but it's not so much where it's a Ferrari next to a Ford or a Honda, right? The product slab, I'm sorry, they're all Toyotas, Hondas, Hyundais, Fords, Chevys. Unless you wanted a company like pimping, like pimping their slabs. Pimp My Slab. You guys ever watch Pimp My Ride? They go and take the hoopty, bring it down to the body shop, candy coat it, put it on some rims. You got the woofers in the back seat. Maybe you can pimp a slab. Maybe you have a company that just does like gold-plated slabs. Like actual gold labels. The gold label, it's like full 24 karat gold. I don't see that happening. To me, the differentiation in quality over quantity is the grade. It's the service. It's the service. And there's two things. One, it's the grade. It's who we trust more to validate that grade. There's a catch behind this because sometimes who we trust isn't because we actually trust them. We're blinded and it's more of a perception thing. Our perception persuades our trust. So that's why CGC, well, they can put books upside down in their cases. They could put a DC slab on a Marvel book. Their cases can open it up and talk like a DVD case. Okay, X11, you bring up some good points. I'll get to this. I'll get to this. I'll get to this. I'll get to this. The quality comes with the grade, in my humble opinion. But that quality is a perception. And oftentimes, it's a misconception. The perception is misconceived. So we think that we trust CGC just because they're the top dog and nothing changes. Oh, man. Big shout out. Nomad. Love the show. Always still loving that ASM. Simple Simon. Oh, man. Thank you, Nomad. Thanks for the super chat and hanging out tonight. Truly appreciate you. Joe, comic review. What's going on? All right, but I got to address X. We're going to come back to something. I got to address X11 here. I was thinking Gold Labels. X11 brings me back down to earth. X11 brings me back down to earth, and this is what I'm talking about. Lifetime cases. Full UV protection. Waterproof. Wow. So, wow. X11. Look at that. You changed my whole argument. Just like that, you changed my whole argument. These are absolutely feasible things. A waterproof case, I can't believe that these cases aren't UV protected yet. Offering a lifetime warranty on the case, saying if the case cracks, we will reholster it for you for free. Maybe there's insurance. You buy insurance on it. Lifetime insurance, warranty. But you know what they'll say, but we can't guarantee the same grade, right? Here's my thing about that. So X11, good points, but here's the thing. If one grading company does this, I think it's going to give them the upper hand, but I still don't think it really boils down to them saying we're going to eliminate quantity for this. They can, especially the big two. The big two can offer those things right now and do so without taking a hit to their quantity. So I'll still say no, because these are things that I think the industry needs to evolve with anyways. And CGC and CBCS are going to be leading the way. And hopefully other companies like EGS, maybe PGX might follow. And it might be harder for them because of overhead. And maybe they will benefit. Maybe they will benefit by saying, well, because of our cost, we can't pump out as many, but we're making more of a larger profit margin. That way we can invest back into the company. But if they're actually getting, bringing in more earnings every quarter, the quantity is going to keep growing. So again, it's not like we're actually differentiating Ferrari versus Ford, Nordstrom's versus Walmart. We're still all on the same plateau. It would be like Honda introducing like some type of upgrade and then Toyota follows, right? And Ford follows. That's what I see it as. They're still in the same ballpark. It's not a specialty market, next to a mass-produced market, if that makes sense. For me, quantity over quality still boils down to service. And I talked about the grade being part of the service, but I'm going to bring up one more thing. But I got to get to this. Raising Elm, thank you so much. Benedict Cumberbatch is doing CGC signatures. Great announcement. Thank you for the support, Raising Elm, as always. Truly appreciate you. Oh man, we got more bots. More bots. Hold on, guys. I think somebody already took care of the bots. Thank you guys so much for all my wrenches out there. Thank you guys so much. So this is the last thing I'm going to say about X11's question. Service that's going to differentiate different markets. Quantity, higher tier market, quantity over or quality over quantity, standard tier market, quantity over quality. Speed. And CBCS is already off and running to the races with this. I did a video talking about this. I think they're borderlining on ethics. I don't necessarily think it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I just think there's a big question mark there. CBCS went from $40. I do believe it was a couple months ago. It was 40. They changed it to they increased it to 60 when they first launched it, and now it's 80. And they're saying skip the line. It's not even fast track because that's always been around. It's guaranteed 10-day turnaround times when you have a backlog, hundreds and thousands of people waiting months. Comics. And I think that they could sit here and change the game and change the industry and say, we were charging $20 to $40 before, depending on the tier. Now we're charging 80 plus to guarantee turnaround time. That right there is such a huge, that's a differentiator when it comes to quality over quantity. And it's not the quality of the slab. It's not having a UV protected case or waterproof or anything like that. It's simply tending to the FOMO of the market. We want it now. We want it now, right now, and we're willing to pay top dollar for it. CBC, if the FOMO, the culturally driven, because it's not just comic books, the one, new iPhone comes out every year. Now I'm going and pitching my 10 out in front of the iPhone store 2 nights before just to get my new iPhone. PlayStation 5s, the new Jordans. I'm trampling over people and literally killing people. The Popeyes chicken sandwich. People are getting shot over the last Popeyes chicken sandwich. It's culturally acceptable to have the me, gimme, now. CBCS says, all right, misconception thinking just because CGC started it all and they got a head start, well, they get the most on the market. I'm just going to keep going with it myself, saying they're superior. I only care about what's going to get me more money on the secondary market. If they think that upcharging 100 to 200 plus % from what they were to guarantee that people's FOMOs would be quenched in 10 days, they might be onto something. And then they can be the differentiator. They could be the Nordstroms. They could be the Ferrari. And maybe CGC is still, maybe they're Audi. And PGX is Pintos. I don't know. That's the one thing that I think can happen. But I'm going to tell you one more thing, guys. I don't think it will, because this is what I think. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything I say about any of these companies. I've said a lot of constructive stuff towards CGC. I'm going to say this right now. I have more faith right now in CGC getting their crap together than I do CBCS. I do. I actually think CGC is still cheaper than CBCS with some tiers. CBCS is cheaper than CGC on other tiers. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but with what CGC is doing in their smaller price increases that they've done over the last year or so, if CGC keeps doing what they're doing, even with their price increases, and gets their wait times down, gets their turnaround times down, people are going to look at CBCS's $80 increase, their 100% increase in what they're charging. They're going to look at it and they're going to laugh. They're going to say, look, man, CGC's handling it. They really are. They hire more people. They're really training more people. I know I used to pay $5 for Fast Track. Now I'm paying $15. But God dang it, I'd rather pay $15 more than the $40 more that you're charging. Ha! CGC is still superior because I can get more money on the secondary market for them. That's where I think it's going to lead. That's where I think it's going to lead. I really don't think CBCS is going to win with this 10-day turnaround time. If CGC really tries to nip in the bud their turnaround times. And I've heard that there's been some people getting their books back decently fast. So we shall see. All right, Taylor, what's going on? What's going on? I don't know what that comment is, but I'm going to pass it on. Maybe it was a spelling error. What? All right, yeah, I'm about all my wrenches. I got this. Taylor, one more comment and you're gone, man. One more comment and you're gone. I don't tolerate this bull crap. I'm sorry that you're so freaking miserable and bored. All right, guys. Before I got to go pick up my son, Tony, big shout out to Tony. He did ask one more question, and I covered it, Tony, right now as well as in my my video I did. But Tony was talking about why there wasn't big announcements of CBCS's price changes. He talked about quality control and price changes and CBCS kind of getting a free pass. Everybody talks about CGC, but what about CBCS? And I talked about it. And I brought that up in that video. And I said this to Tony too. I had a private conversation and said, on one end, it's because CGC is still CGC and people still perceive CGC how they see him. But I don't know. At the end of the day, beyond that, I don't know. I just, maybe people don't think that content creators, they think they're going to get as many clicks talking about CBCS. But the bottom line is, Tony, I do believe that it needs to be talked about because I just brought up why. I want every grading company to succeed. Even PGX, but god darn, it's going to take a lot for me to, like I said. I don't think CGC continuing to succeed is going to hurt even companies pushing through like EGS. And I see nobody needs to be the next CBCS. CBCS doesn't need to be CGC. Everyone needs to just keep doing what they're doing, and they need to challenge the other companies to some degree. And that's when you have a healthy market, and healthy industry, and a healthy market. Where you can have more of monopolistic competition, where they can start differentiating themselves, like X11 said. Well, maybe one person comes up and starts differentiating itself, doing UV slabs, and then it challenges them all. EGS doing custom labels. Maybe it's going to challenge, or maybe it's a niche, and CGC. I mean, obviously CGC does do custom labels, a little different than what EGS is doing because it's just a little character on it, and that's going to be a positive thing. So we shall see. We got some big announcements coming up from EGS soon. A lot of changes from CGC and CBCS over the last year or so, and I think there's going to be a lot of changes over the next 2 years for the grade. I think it's going to be positive. I do, overall. With that being said, just reading it. That's the questions for today, guys. Again, big shout out to all of my patrons for making this happen. It really felt good to be back in front of you guys for the first time in about a month doing a show. And I am tired. I don't know if you guys see it, but I'm tired, man. I'm leaving out of town in a couple days. And we're funny story real quick, guys. I haven't had a real vacation with my family in a very, very long time. I'm talking years. And we had a family vacation plan for Yosemite. I went there once when I was a kid. None of my other my kids and my wife have never been there. There was just last week a big fire happened right where we were staying, and the whole place was evacuated. I'm praying that, praying for all the homes out there and the people out there, and we couldn't make it. Sucked. A week before we were going. Thankfully, I got my money back for our Airbnb, and we're going out to the coast, and we're still gonna have a good trip. So thankful about that. Hopefully we can make Yosemite next year, but Yosemite is a magical place. But I'm going to be out of town next week. I got a lot going on. I will have videos on my channel, guys. I plan on having at least a couple new ones to release. I just picked up another collection, so I'll have that video going up soon. I do plan an actual top 10 comic. I think it's 5 or 10 comics to invest in video. We're going to do that. And I'm going to do a couple of re-releases, so there will be content for you guys. But thank you guys so much to everyone asking the questions. All my Patreon members. X11, thank you. Raising Elm, thank you. Lad, thank you. Appreciate it. Tony, thank you. You guys are awesome. Again, for anybody inquiring comics for sale, be patient with me. These next 2 weeks, I won't have much time to get anything organized. But after that, I am going to start pulling stuff for my piece. So a lot of stuff going on. Spotter Dude, thank you. So again, guys, I appreciate the support. It really helps me out just watching the videos, clicking the like button, leaving some comments, sharing the videos. Talked about the YouTube algorithms and what they're doing. It's a shame, but I got to keep pushing through, right? So thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Be well, be good to yourselves, be good to next time.